I'm Scott Watkins, and today I'm going to talk to you about the impact of my work. I know that on my slide you'll see an extra role that I do in a moment, but actually I'm only going to talk about 2 of those roles today. And I think it's really great to be here and quite a unique person to be able to do what I do across the country. I also think it's really important that we make sure that we include local people as well to be able to come and speak about what they're doing locally around their work in the community, like myself. I suppose it's also great that I have a learning disability, I'm able to do this, but also needing to make sure that local people with learning disabilities are doing the same. Okay, so for those who don't know me, bear with. I'm taking them Sally Phillips now. Sorry, obviously you didn't get my show. I actually love that programme. I can't wait to meet her. So my main job is I work as an eye care and vision development officer for SeeAbility 4 days a week, and I go around the country talking about eye care and vision. You're going to hear a bit more about that. My other job, my second part of that job is I co-chair the Transforming Care Assurance Board with the Minister as the birth to check and to make sure families are assured and people then is assured about people coming out of hospital and going back into the community, which I'm not going to talk about today because Dominic slowly covered that this morning, which was quite nice. And I suppose my other job is I'm a visiting lecturer for the University of Hertfordshire, and I'm paid to do that job, and I'm also going to talk about that today too. So I was asked by Daniel to talk about what the impact is of my work and what I do actually, and I think that I think it's really important that it's great to ask me to do that, but I'm very nervous about it because I've never been asked to talk about the impact before. And now I'm going to talk to you about the experience I have around house services as well. So, my work at SeeAbility, I chair your peer events to make sure that people with learning disabilities get and are able to get good eye care and to know how to look after their eyes. And that's really good because actually I have a visual impairment myself, and so I'm able to tell them my story and to help other people with learning disabilities get good eye care and vision. And so on with that, I also train advocacy groups and on the peer educator network in opening eyes training. What that's all about is to make sure that people with learning disabilities in self-advocacy groups train other people with learning disabilities around eye care and vision. Because actually, there's 3 of us in my team, and we cover the whole country, every breadth and depth of the country, and I live on the Isle of Wight, so no, I'm not in the bidding for the Prosecco, sorry. And I think people will come further than me today. So. But I think what's really important is that because that gives local people with learning disabilities and local groups the opportunity to go out and train their peers and to help them learn and understand about eye care and vision. And so we provide all the training stuff, kit for them, and we provide all the materials and free of charge. And all I do is rock up, give them the training, come back and observe their training every so often, and then ask for some numbers of how many people they've trained in their area, and if there's anything else we can do as well. So, but I think it's really important, and we've had a lot of feedback about that. And I suppose, and one of the biggest parts of my role is about training optometrists, making sure that opticians understand what are the barriers that people with learning disabilities face. How can they work with somebody with a learning disability and give somebody with a learning disability a good sight test? And that's really, really important to us as an organisation. But also, we hear stories about actually people with learning disabilities not being included within the sight test. They're just talk, or they're saying that they can't give that person the sight test. So I go there, give them my story about my vision impairment and how I treat it. Wham bang, thank you, man, the job's done. Because they say to me afterwards, well, I never expected to have somebody with a learning, I didn't think somebody with a learning disability could have a sight test. Oh well, there you go, my story done. My job's done here. But it's quite simple as that, because actually we developed a pathway called the Lock-Soon pathway, and we work with every LOC over the country to help make sure that people with learning disabilities get a good sight test and a longer sight test. And some CCGs have taken up that pathway, but some CCGs haven't. So we don't include, we haven't got around every part of the country yet. And I suppose the other thing that we're doing, and thank you to Daniel for giving us a quote around the accessible information standards. I lost my words then, and because we do lots of easy read information around people getting good eye care and vision, and we think it's really important, and we welcome the standards. Because actually it means that we now can say to the optometrist, you have to go out and you have to make sure that your information is easy reading and accessible, and please signpost them to us, because actually we can give you that information, and I have it all on the table today outside this room. So that's really, really important. And also that breaks down the barriers for people. So what people have said about my work, this is the bit where I get very emotional. Because actually I'm just a person, and I just like to go out and make sure that everybody has their gets the right treatment and equal treatment. So my line manager, Stephen Hill, who I was really worried when I had to ask him actually, because he's the one that suggested I put these in. So he said that Scott is a very important member of SeeAbility's eye care and vision team. Travels around the country delivering training and workshops. Representing SeeAbility and at meetings and conferences, and of course speaking at prestigious events like today. Another person with a learning disability. and under my condition, Scott is ideally placed to be speaking about this topic. As a South advocate, family carers and professionals. So that's from my line manager, and that really means a lot to me, because actually we joke a lot about my work and how I do it and where I go in the country. And even though I've had some encounters with some really old people and asked out at events to go to the night shift by 65-year-old ladies. It's kind of scary. It's scary sometimes when I run out the room like a madman. Even though our big boss had to save me once in London at an event and actually said, well, I'm not sure that Scott's got time to go out with you to a football match, but anyway, so Paul McCluskey is a South African from the Open Doors, and he attends our open rights training and actually delivers it. So having attended SeeAbility's conferences in the past, Scott has always presented smartly and is very professional and has a natural ability to engage with any audience. His knowledge and passion when delivering training always shows through. I think that's really important, and Paul I talk to all the time on Facebook, but what's really important there, that actually Paul came to me and said, oh, I need to get some glasses. But actually, what was really important for Paul is he doesn't have a lot of money, and so getting expensive glasses wasn't an option. So we helped Paul to, we suggested to Paul where he should go to get his glasses from. And so that's really important, I think. So, this person, Lord Marshall, is a tenant at Hartford, is one of our services, and is a Speakeasy group member, which I run our service user involvement group. And Laura, when I first met Laura, she was kind of a person that I'm not sure whether I can work with this person, but actually I knew that I had to, because he was always confronting me about things and would say things that were quite inappropriate. So it was kind of difficult. But actually, she's really developed in her own way. And she's basically put that I felt very happy to meet you and talk about and speak and about Speakeasy. You made me feel comfortable about being the spokesperson at our Hartsbrook service in Ashton. I enjoyed going to meetings and it's teaching me new things. When you came to Hartsbrook to visit me, you explained things very slowly, so I didn't understand what I had to do and what was going to happen, which I liked. So actually it helped change that person's life, a person's way of thinking, and help them to develop. Okay, so the second thing I'm going to talk to you about is about my work at the University of Hertfordshire and learning this speaking nursing course. I suppose it's quite overwhelming because actually Maggie Jones is in the audience and she's never seen me in action like this before. So I really think she might give me a grilling on the way back. Or I'm worried that she might ask a very awkward question. But that's fine. Anyway, so I teach on the first year about experience about health and social inclusion and exclusion, about making sure that how we make sure that you as learning disability nurses treat somebody with a learning disability and put them at essential of everything we do. I then took on, and I did that when I first started at the university. But then they built me up to make me do more for my sins. And now I teach on the second year multicultural module, and I talk about my experiences of employment, about when I talk about the first time I went on the tube through London and nearly took us the wrong way. But you didn't tell me.
I wasn't to say anything to you.
Oh yeah, no, you wasn't meant to say anything to me. She had instructions. And that was great, and we still got to the place on time, didn't we?
Just about.
Yeah, just about. And now I use the tube fluently on my own, and I think I know the network off the back of my hand. I'm not quite sure. But only last week I was going somewhere else, a new route, and I got lost. But that says everything. So I think having that experience of talking to the nurses about my experience feels like I've come a very, very long way, and I feel quite old now. Although I don't look that old, but I am actually. So I'm also teaching the second year about having a visual impairment and learning disability, and about how they, and I teach that alongside Maggie, and that was one of the first modules I ever taught. And actually, you know, I give everybody a real hard time in the class and really challenge them in the lecture. And they go away feeling energised and feeling very different, I think. And then they be friendly on Facebook, and I heard, oh God, now they're going to follow me around the country like my son. And then I also help our third years and help them to learn to do mock interviews around the country as well. And I think it's really important. And one of our third years, the first interview I did with them, they got a job straight away from my advice, they said, which was absolutely wonderful and great. So, what impact does that have? So, Maggie says, don't get upset, Maggie, this is your personal mind. The feedback from the students emphasises the impact of how I teach has on them. They leave the session energised and keen to advocate equal access for people who have learning disabilities to health and social care. Having Scott on the team at the university has enabled our students to really hear the expert voice, which hopefully they will reflect on throughout their careers. And I think that's really, and I think they do reflect on that. And I think what's really important there is they always come up to me when I see them and say, well, Scott, where have you been this time? And can you give me any more tips with our assignments? And I'll say, well, Maggie's your lecturer. I just come in, show up, give you the lecture, and go again. So Maria. So some of you might know Maria Walker. And she's just newly qualified as a learning disability nurse. Her partner in crime, Tracy's here today. And so I just said to Maria, can you just give me a couple of sentences, not nearly 3 slides or so, which knowing Maria, she would have gone on forever. So, Maria says that Scott only took me for one seminar during my 3 years, training into to become a learning disability nurse. Yet it was amongst the most memorable, I thought. I had no prejudice about what people with learning disabilities could achieve. Scott made me question this. I hadn't recognised that a person with a learning disability would be a university lecturer, and I never thought I'd get there anyway. And work for the Department of Health, chair national conferences, and for example, although I am passionate about everyone's right to a normal life, Scott made me reflect on how many actually realise this right. Despite his high-profile career, he still has professionals checking up in my home life. The lessons have improved my practice. Now I'm qualified. Firstly, as I see this, it's the only population group who are expected not to be able to maintain a family life independently, and secondly, that with the appropriate support anyone can achieve as much as anyone else. So for Marie to say that to me was a big achievement, and now I owe her a few beers. But it's really important that Marie is one of our gold standard students, and she'll go a long way. Okay, so I'm now going to talk to you about my personal experiences in health services, and actually how some of the things that I think that I've done to change the way people are and how people treat me. So I've had mixed experience from receiving healthcare services, and actually it's been a roller coaster and an emotional and very emotional at times. And the last two years have been really difficult in that respect. So I've been in a hospital and inpatient and had eye surgery. Some of that eye surgery has been great, and I've been supported really, really well. And however, but once the support goes in hospital sometimes, they put one of the experiences I had is they left me in my bed and wouldn't tell me to go to the toilet when I needed to go. And because they said if you fall down, you've got to get yourself up. And what actually happened. And so I had to hold on to go to the toilet for nearly 3 hours. And the other thing that they did in that hospital stay was they put my food on the other side of the room where I couldn't actually see it, so I couldn't get to it. So it was only because my SeeAbility colleague, Ailey, who was supporting me, gave me my food. So that was really important, but also I can now go into that hospital and I know the consultant really well, and we have a real joke because he says to me, "So, Scott, how's your eye and vision work going with SeeAbility? And what trouble lot have you stayed in this week?" So we have to laugh about that, which is really important. So over the last 5 years, I've been going to my GP and kept complaining that I keep being sick all the time, and I don't know why, but I feel well. And my doctor basically said to me, "Oh no, Scott, well, it's just stress, you know. You're doing too much, and it's fine. But when I've been on annual leave or had time at home and took some time out, I've still been sick, so I knew it wasn't stress. And however, so Christmas was really a bad time around that, and I was really ill at work, and I really badly performed. But my doctor said to me, oh well, I suppose we better give you the camera test then, Scott. So he gave me the camera test, and but before I went, he said there's probably going to be nothing wrong, so don't worry. It's probably just stress. It turned out that I had a hiatus hernia, and so which meant that actually I had to change my diet and the way I ate, and to eat very differently. So no more McDonald's for me. And to eat smaller portions, because as Sue Carmichael said to me today, well, Scott, do you still eat like a horse? Which I think is really important that people, and then I went back for a 3-month review afterwards, and I said to him, so what are we going to do next? And he said to me after that, he said, well, I'll see me in 3 months and I'll review it, and I'll plan to take you off the medication. So I went back in 3 months. I went to see him, so I said, so I'm still being sick. Medication's not completely helping. And he said, oh well, I suppose I should give you the camera test. Oh, but you've given me that already, so why do you need to do another one? Because and he said, actually, I don't think so, I'm being silly. So it just tells you how much a doctor really knows. So I'm glad Dominic's slowly down the room. And so still, I'm still battling with it, and still will. So, but actually I met a nice lady today from the Williams Syndrome Foundation, and she just told me that it's really common in my condition. So I'm now going to stick that under his nose and stick 2 fingers on it. Sorry. So then the maternity unit. So back in 2014, I had a little girl called Jennifer. Best thing that happened to me in my life. But actually, lots of things happened for that, and this is quite emotional, so I'm really sorry. And lots of things happened, so we nearly had our daughter taken away from us twice. And because the safeguarding midwife made judgments about people with learning disabilities not being able to look after children, their own children, and having that family. And for us, she said to my partner Amanda at the time, well, are you going to take is Scott going to wear condoms, or is he, and if not, why not? And Amanda said, well, actually, Scott doesn't like condoms. Sorry about talking about sex like that. And she was like, well, why not? He said, I don't like the smell of them because they make me absolutely sick, and I think they're vile things to put on and take off. And she said, oh, well, the only option for you then, Amanda, is having the injection. a depot injection. And so we just think that actually it was really wrong for her to say it like that and not give us a chance to think about the contraception and to give us a choice. I suppose the other thing was they made a judgment on the day of discharge, said Amanda was going to shake the baby, and she didn't shake the baby and referred us to Children's Services. And in the report that we got back from Children's Services, because when they came round I told them it was a waste of time you being here, because actually you're going to be very satisfied, and please read about valuing people, which the social worker didn't know about, and about the rights for people with learning disability and to be equal. And she basically said, well, I'm still going to do it anyway, and we're only here because you've got a learning disability. So anyway, we went through it. The report came back and it has some shocking statements in there about us, which were not true. They couldn't even get my jobs right and what I do across the country when they asked for all that information. So that's telling me something, isn't it? And the fact was that my dad was dying in hospital at the time, and I had to go down to London and make sure and be there for my father and to make a decision. But actually what I didn't do is tell the social worker I'd found out this news on the day of the assessment, and I just carried on. And we were really lucky because we were really worried that we were going to lose Jack. But actually we didn't, and she's very happy at home. And I suppose the other thing we asked for is the midwifery team is when Amanda was in labour, was there an LD nurse in the hospital? And they said to me, what's an LD nurse? Who are they? And why do you need one? I said, well, actually they advocate for people with learning disabilities. They help to make sure we get the right treatment, and they make sure that and they know us really well, and they know how to work with somebody with a learning disability. And she said, well, I still don't know why you need one. I said, well, you don't even know if there's one here because you haven't even answered my question. So anyway, we didn't need her, but actually I was trying to be clear about actually it was really important that they knew that there is an LD nurse in the hospital. I think that put them out a little bit. But before I finish and go and finish, I just want to say something. I believe that people with other local people in the community with a learning disability in your local area really need to use them to make sure that they help you develop and train other people with learning disabilities across the country and around your work and everything that you do. And I think that's really, really important. And last Friday, which I didn't know about this, but I sat in St Paul's Cathedral with the Queen, which was quite an honour. And actually, although I sat there and I was thinking, well, I was never told I was going to get a job at school. I was never told I was going to live independently. I was never told that I was going to have a family. And actually, and now look at me, I was sitting there watching the Queen celebrate her 90th birthday service and meeting Prince Edward and Prince William in the lunch reception afterwards, alongside Maria Walker. But I think actually, she's not my stalker, by the way. She thinks from here everywhere I get. But that for me is a great achievement. But actually what we need to do is carry on. People with learning disabilities across the country need to carry on, keep fighting to make sure they get the services that they want and that they need, and to make sure that everybody has the same rights and opportunities, that everybody else to get that same health services as everybody else, and that really, and other people with learning disabilities as well need to step up to the plate like me and speak nationally and speak out and tell you and look for you to listen to their experiences. So thank you very much.